Hey, this is Don from Lang Specialty Trailers, and today we're talking with Eric Foster from Lakes Regions Tent and Events in the New Hampshire area. And
Yep.
Eric is one of our great customers up north, who they do a lot of different things, party event rentals. But Eric Foster, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thanks. This is my pleasure.
Yeah, and if you could, take as much time as you want, tell us a little bit about Eric Foster and Lakes Regions Tents and Events.
Sure. So I bought a rental company in central New Hampshire in 2009, and pretty small operation, but well run, and we've grown it since then. We're into tents. We do some graduation work in the spring, and then our stock and trade is weddings, really from the end of May right through the end of October. Our business is seasonal here in New Hampshire, so this is now November, and or December rather, and we're pretty well shut down. But I would say, as far as restroom trailers go, we always heard about them, and we had somebody that we would send our customers to when they asked about them. But we were reluctant to get into this because we felt it was just that littlest bit outside our niche and what we were good at. I think we finally got comfortable with it as we saw that sometimes it's like anything. When you recommend someone to one of your good customers and they don't have an experience like you're used to delivering, you start to ask yourself, how can you add this to your offering, or how can you support your customers by adding it and delivering it at the level that they're accustomed to? So we started asking around. We were introduced to Lang around this time. I want to say this is 4 years ago, Don. Is that right?
Yep.
So around 4 years ago, we started asking better and better questions and trying to figure out how we can do it, not why we can't do it.
Right.
And started out with one trailer, and it seems like we're on this pretty steady clip. Usually adding one trailer a season. We have this season behind us where we technically, I guess, added a couple.
Yeah.
So it's grown like crazy. We've been really pleased with it, and it helps us really be a one-stop source for our customers. When they say event, now we can ask this question, whether they're thinking about it or not, or whether we're thinking about getting it from somewhere else. Now we can answer the question and take care of them.
So when you bought the event rental business in 2009, you really had no intention of adding, or restroom trailers, probably didn't even know they were a thing.
If they existed, Don, in New Hampshire at the time, 2009, they probably did. I think they go back farther than that, but they were the farthest thing from our minds. Because really, we still had some things that we needed to do better within our shop, within our inventory. We needed to broaden our offerings, improve our offerings. And so we worked on the core at the outset with the business. And then we kept hearing it, but not from every fifth customer. We heard about it 2 or 3 times a year, it seemed, in the very beginning, and we were happy to send it to someone who specialized in it.
Gotcha. So you had requests.
We had requests, and it's one of those things in our business where sometimes if you are willing to lean into those things and you get the request, say 2 or 3 times in a season. Ovens is one thing, for example, that
ovens.
I think we heard this from a few customers way back, more than 10 years ago, and it seemed like it was something that was a little easier for us. We could easily transport it, store it, clean it, move it, etc. Those were an easy step to make. With a little bit of smoke, a few requests is all that it took to get us to move on ovens. If we had been more receptive probably to the restroom trailer requests and dug into it a little more way back, we probably could have been in this business a lot sooner.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. So whenever you guys decided to pull the trigger and get a restroom trailer, what were the considerations in the trust? Was it the size of the trailer? Was it the size of the events that you do? What was your comfort level with the restroom trailer?
Yeah. So we talked to enough people, not dozens, but we talked to a small handful of people who had been in our shoes in the few years prior to this decision, other rental companies that had added it to their offerings. And so those guys gave us some confidence that, yes, you can do this. Yes, you can do this alongside your rental business. It goes together well. You need to answer these questions or solve for these parts of the equation, like dumping the waste.
Mm-hmm.
But once those guys whom we trust and we know, once those guys kind of said, this is what you need to be worried about, think about this, and these are the questions, it gave us a lot of confidence to go forward. You guys helped us a lot with all of the rookie questions, like this is our average size, how many units should we have, and what should the units look like? You guys were a lot of help with that, and all the rookie questions, like dealing with the waste.
Yeah.
How to move it, how to store it, winterize it, what happens if, all those questions. You guys were the ones, and I can't honestly remember how we ended up with Lang. I think we ended up with two names in the restroom trailer, the manufacturer realm, and got to you guys on a short list pretty quickly.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So how do you think at this point, now you have 5 trailers,
Yeah.
It's been about 4 years. How do you feel as though restroom trailers have changed your business?
Well, it's nice. We watch our average ticket as an indication of how deeply are we selling into each of the jobs. I liken it to a grocery store with 6 aisles or 10 aisles or 15 aisles. You'd like to see that if you're adding aisles to your grocery store, that you're doing maybe fewer sales with higher volume per sale, higher ticket. And so the restroom trailer has definitely moved that needle for us. We can see the average ticket go up, which tells me usually, even though with a restroom trailer you make an extra trip technically to deliver it and to pick it up beyond what you were already going to do in rentals, we're talking to one customer. And so it's usually easier to do more business with the same or fewer number of customers as you grow your revenue. And it gives us, I think, the impression, gives people comfort dealing with us at the outset, that they're not going to have to make 2 or 3 or 4 phone calls to get all of their rentals. They can pick up the phone and they can deal with us from tents to tables, dance floor, lighting, dishes, glasses, linens, and restroom trailer. We didn't come across this too much, but there is always, when you have another rental company on the same site, say somebody else doing restroom trailers, you can run into some logistics problems that seem minor 6 months in advance, but on the day of, if your guys can't get to the tent site because the restroom trailer is in the way, or you on the flip side put up a tent and then the restroom trailer guy can't get where he needs to go, your customer, your mutual customer at that point, there are 2 rental companies now getting screamed at. So when you control all these pieces on the delivery and the execution and the pickup, you very easily figure out at the operations level, all right, restroom trailer should go first on this site. It doesn't matter, or restroom trailer should go second on this site.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. With all that being said, restroom trailers do open up an opportunity for you. Have you seen requests outside of the event rental business with the restroom trailers? Have you rented them into different segments or different markets? Or has it just been party rental?
I consider us, with our restroom trailers, we always wanted this to add to our customers' experience and improve the core of our business. So I would say we've gotten requests to do things a little outside the norm. We got a request for a big box retailer who I guess was having a problem with their bathrooms. The bathrooms were being renovated. We got a request to put a couple of trailers in the parking lot. And we didn't act on it. It was probably a great opportunity, and I'm sure someone else in our market acted on it. But our concern was, what is that restroom trailer going to look like when it gets done being in the corner of this big box retail store? Who's going to lock it up every night? Is anyone going to lock it up each night? Are they going to care for it? Are there customers who coming and going out of there? Are they going to care for it? So we've always taken the quality of the product, tents, dishes, dance floors, or restroom trailers really, really seriously. And we always felt a little safer, a little more confident delivering this alongside a lot of other rental items. Because if they're going to take care of your tent, your dance floor, and your tables and chairs, they're probably going to be respectful of the restroom trailer.
Right.
So I would say our approach to restroom trailers is pretty conservative in that we're not trying to market these widely to every use out there. And especially in our rental season, say from the 1st of May to the middle of November, we're always trying to make sure we keep the restroom trailers available for our event rental customers.
Right. So you've seen opportunity out there. It didn't fit
Yes.
with what you wanted to use the restroom trailers for, because it makes total sense. You have no idea, if it was the right thing for you guys, but the restroom trailers that you wanted to just keep for your event rental business.
Yeah, we just see it. It's out there. It's definitely out there. We just see it outside our core business. Just like we're having a snowstorm here, we don't put plows on our trucks and go bang into everything on the roads.
Right.
Plowing with our trucks. Our trucks are for our rental business, and they sit idle during the winter, which seems kind of silly, but we have more control over the way they look and operate come rental season.
Gotcha. So if you had people approach you outside, because I know we saw you at the Major show, the big tent show, and there's other tent companies out there that may not have restroom trailers. Have other companies approached you about adding restroom trailers to their business?
It wasn't at Matra this year. I think at ARA earlier this winter. This goes back to New Orleans in February.
Right.
We had a couple of people who were, I'd say, smaller rental companies who came to us and asked the question. We haven't had a ton of that activity, but I don't know if that's just because it's being done here in New Hampshire. We have friendly competitors of ours who are already doing it. But we haven't had a lot of other rental companies ask us. I don't know if we do it in enough volume for people to see us as a market leader or an exemplar or anything like that.
So I know you guys primarily you're with 5-station restroom trailers. That kind of fits events of 300. Do you ever see an opportunity or a time that you're taking multiple trailers to these really big events? Or
last month we brought 4.
Oh wow!
Yeah. It was a little outside of our norm. It was not a wedding, of course. It was a great big event publicizing the appeal of the trades.
Okay.
So the event was called Bring Back the Trades, and Mike Rowe was the keynote speaker.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So we put up our 100-wide tent. We put up our 60-wide tent, a couple of other smaller units. And I think they told us that at one time on the site, there were as many as 3,500 people there.
Okay.
So 4 restroom trailers plus what they could do inside the buildings was a good size, and it was good exposure for us. Nice to place 4 of those in November, anywhere in New Hampshire, but all in one spot made it really nice. Our names all over them, and it went along well with our work. So that was good.
Yeah, and that's 4 restroom trailers. You're accommodating 3,500 people at one time. That's fantastic. Yeah. That's definitely a great job.
Yep.
So where do you think you go from here? How big do you think restroom trailers could do with your business? Obviously, everybody's looking for growth. Every year, you mentioned earlier in this, you're looking to add 1 a year. Is that kind of the projection that you see yourselves going?
Yeah. I would say, again, with our conservative approach, and we never want to get away from, first things are first. So we always have tents to invest in. Updating our inventory in any category, we've got to keep an eye on that. I have a feeling that if we just decided to throw more of our capital every year into restroom trailers, that the demand is probably there. We've demonstrated that with a new trailer every year. I think that's been our slow, steady approach, but there's probably a model that says, okay, go deeper into that and really lift the lid and see what you could do with it. There's probably an appetite for it out there. There are certainly bigger single companies who do nothing but portable sanitation between porta potties and restroom trailers.
Mm-hmm.
So they're finding a way, and we could probably lean into it some more. We've just kind of made sure it stays one of our offerings, not run away and get too deep into any one thing.
Right. Yeah. You don't want it to be. It can become a business on its own. You guys like it definitely as part of complementary to the event rental.
Yeah. Right now, it's not to the point, Don, where it's saying you need, more trucks. You need a lot more employees to service this. You don't need a great big amount of space beyond what you have.
Mm-hmm.
We will probably, like anything, it's finite, and we'll get to a point where we say, okay, to make this next jump, it's another truck, it's another driver, it's more space in the yard, it's one more thing to work on and deal with during the week as you get ready for it. But so far, it's scaled up really nicely with the rest of our business.
Perfect. Now, what's easier, putting up a tent or putting up a restroom trailer?
Oh my! If putting up tents was as easy as delivering restroom trailers, we would. It would be great. It would be great.
Yeah.
No, it's again, in our market, the tent kind of leads the way.
Yeah.
And somebody years ago told me this was a guy who sold tents, still sells tents. He was saying the tent is the delivery vehicle for everything under it, and you don't get very far. You don't get very far in New Hampshire with the weather that we can have. You don't get very far without putting the tent up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come along, and sometimes your margins are higher for everything else, like chairs, tables, dance floor, lights, etc. And so restroom trailers kind of tag along with that. We've certainly delivered a restroom trailer without a tent.
Yeah.
And I wish everything delivered and picked up and cleaned up as easily as a restroom trailer.
Right.
But no, the tents have a lot more moving pieces and parts to them. There's a way higher leverage in terms of the safety part of it and making sure it stays up in whatever kind of weather you're going to get. So no, restroom trailers are a dream compared to tents.
Yeah. So what's your largest tent? Is it did you say 100 by 100?
We go 100 by 160 is our largest tent.
And how many people go underneath that tent?
Give or take 2,000.
Oh wow, that
depends on the setting, but it's usually a tent we use at a graduation.
Okay.
And so figure 1,500 to 2,000 people plus a stage for a graduation.
Oh, like a commencement, so a full commencement, not just a graduation party.
Yep,
Gotcha.
Prep school or a college around here type of event.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Eric, that kind of pretty much covers just about everything that we wanted to talk about. You covered your considerations when adding restroom trailers. It was a request-driven type thing.
It was
definitely a complementary to your business.
Yep.
Makes you in your words, a one-stop shop.
Yeah, it does. It does. And you guys have been a great partner this way.
Thank you.
I wore Adam out in the beginning, and now I wear you out with the ridiculous questions and the what ifs and all this kind of stuff. We probably ask a little better questions than we did in the very beginning. But,
definitely, for sure.
But to have you guys relatively close, so Pennsylvania, we get these units picked up by a driver and driven up here in the same day. And so your proximity to us when you need to get things to us, it's always been really prompt to get things. To have you guys, I wish you were closer, of course, but you got to do. So to have you guys close and responsive, it's been helpful to get us over the hump and into it. It's not like tents where we knew all the right questions and we just needed it. It needed a tent. We needed the full education and all the support.
Right.
And that has made a huge difference. This could have been really painful.
Sure.
Without you guys behind us.
Oh, well, thank you very much. But Eric, thank you very much. I hope everybody at the Lakes Region Tents and Events has a great Christmas and a great New Year's, and hopefully I'll see you at the next trade show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you again.
You bet.
Don't hesitate to reach out and give us a call if you have any questions.
Of course.
All right.
Will do.
Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Yep.